You leave the pledge? There's your certificate next week. We'll get him a certificate.
We only have students come here.
Not only mine. Not only mine.
But you black cowboy.
Oh, well, but it's like, run! He wants to show somebody his car.
Right.
It's all right.
All right. I think he's the last, right? All right.
That's delegations and 4-1. So it'll be, yeah. Then we'll have the 3-1, 3-2 first.
All right,
I think Dr. Burnett has a few words he wants to say too. We'll get there, okay?
Y'all ready?
ready?
Everybody ready? Hit the phone. Jack, hit your phone. I didn't mean to.
Again?
Calls meeting order Tuesday, April 27th, 2021, Mason County Board of Education, regular business meeting, agenda number 20-46. Mason County Board of Education, office 6 p.m. All members are present except Mr. Billings. He had to leave. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance, led by Mr. Keith Burnett. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, recognitions. I'll introduce to you Mr. Dr. Keith Burnett is our new superintendent of Mason County Schools. If you would, I think he might have something to say. Words to be active.
Can you get to the mic?
Well, good evening, everyone. And let me express my appreciation to the board for offering this position to me. It's a very, very exciting time for me personally, and also a wonderful time for my family. And, you know, I've got a tremendous support group and group of cheerleaders back there. And let me just acknowledge them real quick before the little ones go crazy on us here. I have my wife, Gloria, back there. My 3 children are here this evening, Kayla, Stephen, and Stacy. And then Kayla's husband, Andrew, is with us. Stacy's husband is actually at the state basketball tournament tonight. He's an assistant principal at Ravenswood. He's down there watching the girls play basketball. And then I have my 4 grandchildren here with me this evening, Harper, Henley, Ty, and Macy. So they are my cheerleaders. They are the support group, and I just love and cherish them beyond what they could ever know and imagine. And, you know, those of us in education realize something else, though, and that's that while we may have family units like that are so supportive, not every child does. And so often it falls on the role of the educator to provide that emotional and that emotional support and stability, and to be the cheerleader, the supporter of some of these children. And we can never overlook that and forget that. Before I go any further, I also want to acknowledge the work of Mr. Cullen. You know, I have known Mr. Cullen for quite some time, and I hope that over the next couple of months, because we each have a couple of months in our respective positions, but I hope that during that amount of time, that the community recognizes what a gem of a man you have here. And this is a popular position because this school system is sound and solid, and I attribute an awful lot of that to the board that sits before me and for Mr. Cullen's leadership. So I hope that you will congratulate him appropriately over the next couple of months. Our families have known each other for quite some time, and I can assure you there'll be a very smooth transition. I appreciate the support he's already pledged. You know, This is especially meaningful to me because I'm a Mason County student. I mean, I was a skinny 6-year-old that started out at Ordinance Elementary School. And 12 years later, I graduated from Point Pleasant High School in the class of 1978. Now, a lot of water's gone under the bridge since then, and I've had the chance to pick up three different college degrees. And I have 39 years in education in my career, 18 from the classroom, 13 at the West Virginia Department of Education, where 4 of those was as the Director of the Office of Human Resources, and then 8 years as an Assistant Superintendent in Jackson County. And I can tell you that the perspective from each of those positions is very different. And I've learned a lot from being in each of those positions. Now, I can be honest with you, if you had asked me some time back if I was ever interested in being a superintendent, I would have told you not in a million years. There is no way. Because I've seen the stress and the pressure and the responsibilities that fall on these superintendents. But I got to tell you, after Mr. Cullen announced his retirement, I had to stop and give that a second thought. And I thought, if you could write your life story, if you had the opportunity, because again, I've had 39 years in education, but I've never worked in Mason County, the county of my origin, the county of my roots. And I thought, if you could write your life story and you had a chance to return in the latter stages of your career and give back to the community where you had your origin, where you had your roots, would you do it? And for me, it was a resounding yes. I really felt led to apply for this position. Didn't know how it would turn out, but I just really felt led to approach it and submit a letter of application, and here we are this evening. Now, I know that the job is going to be incredibly difficult. There's no doubt in my mind. But it's not just difficult for Mason County schools. It's difficult for every school system, frankly, right now. We're emerging from a worldwide pandemic unlike anything that any of us have ever experienced. And I can tell you, when the schools closed on March 13th last year, everybody went into a different mode. But I can say we didn't panic. We knew that you had to work the problem. We have a problem, we have a situation, now we got to work it. How can we provide a continuing education for these students? And how can we provide support to their families? And I saw people do heroic acts. It was incredible, the things that happened. Truly heroic acts. Now, there were some things that we did spot on perfect. There were a few things that we probably would have done differently or have done better. But based on that time and what we knew, I think everybody did the very best that they could. And I've never seen an effort like that before. But in spite of all that, we know there's been a bit of a learning loss. And so we're trying to recapture that and to help students catch back up. And you see, I know the heart of a teacher. I know what those teachers are doing. They're working extremely hard right now, trying to recapture some of that lost time. And I'm really impressed with what the staff is already putting together. These summer learning opportunities are coming up. And I just feel like we're going to be building some momentum. And I'm hoping for a gangbusters of a Mason County Fair in that second week of August. And then that week after, hopefully we can offer to students 5-day face-to-face instruction. And wouldn't it be great to have all of our co-curricular and extracurricular activities back where they should be too, with the fans in the stands and these FFA members that are participating in these CDE events, their career development events, if they can get back to participating in those. And we can have band concerts and fall festivals and all those wonderful things. Those are all so very critical and important in a school system. So during that amount of time, in my first few months here, I really want to be working with the principals and spending a lot of time out meeting the staff and the secretaries and the aides and the counselors and the custodians and the cooks and the bus drivers and the mechanics and everyone, and listen to them. Listen to what some of the challenges are that they experience. And also to plant a few seeds along the way that might lead to some kind of fruit later on. It's an exciting time for me and my family. I can't tell you how much we appreciate this opportunity. And I look forward to working with you and all the staff in the coming days. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And Dr. Burdette, we have a couple students here. Crimson Cochran, she's our FFA president, and she would like to make a presentation. Can she introduce her?
Hi, nice to meet you.
You too. And this is me.
Hi, Anna. Good to meet you.
I'm a little short, so I'm going to put that down. Good evening, everyone. My name is Crimson Cochran, and I'm the 2019-2021 Mason County Vocational FFA Chapter President. With me today is Secretary Hannah Wood. To the 1977 to the 1978 FFA Chapter President, we welcome you home. Dr. Keith Fredette was very active in his time in the FFA. He competed in numerous contests, including meats identification and livestock judging. He attended both state and national convention, and he was also the second place winner in the talent show. This is just a very small portion of what he did and accomplished during his membership. We hope your journey from the time that you left in 1978 was rewarding and memorable. The path that life takes us on is often crazy, and yours has led you back home to the roots of your youth. You were very active within the FFA, and we have no doubt that you will be active within the community throughout your time as superintendent. The Mason County Vocational FFA Chapter wishes you congratulations on your new position. There is no doubt in my mind that you will represent our county well and always put the students first, just like Mr. Jack Cullen did. Welcome home, Dr. Keith Fredette, and congratulations and good luck from the Mason County Vocational FFA.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
You got a picture with them?
Yes.
Can we get them up real fast? Get a picture later up there?
They'd like you all to go there.
Please, please, please.
And I want to hear what the winning talent was.
You can play the piano like something else.
The winner had a handmade dulcimer. And he did very, very good.
Back here, get a picture. We get back in here. Okay, everyone look.
Y'all need to start photographer. I have to stand near you. I'll get them all looking at me.
Give me this one.
You ready for setting or we get where we're at?
You're good. Everybody looking this way.
Thank you.
Thanks, girls.
Cheese. Catch all that? Okay, 302, we have the Claflin Foundation grant presented by Stephen Littlepage and Brent Herford, welding teacher, and Cheryl Moore, principal from Mason County Career Center.
Good evening. Tonight, the Claflin Foundation is pleased to award a grant that was written by Brent Hereford of the Mason County Career Center for a new digital sign that will be placed on school grounds at a location that is befitting for the Career Center, in basically allowing the public to see the Career Center. And I believe it'll be a somewhat of a message board. I hope it will be informational and add to the Career Center's image. We're delighted that the Career Center has been a working participant with the foundation for the last 5 years or so. Several of the teachers have submitted grants to the foundation, and we have funded those grants. And I can say that the foundation is pleased with how those grant monies were used. It is educating your students of this county in ways that you probably would have never dreamed of. The equipment that has been purchased from the grants has gone on to help many students and help other organizations, one of which, of course, was the Mason County Fair, which got new hog pens that had been sought by Curtis McConaughey for years, had become dilapidated. And with the grants that we provided and the collaboration with the Career Center, the Mason County Fair got new hog pens. So in terms of our wish to not only recognize the efforts of the Career Center, but to be, in a sense, somewhat of a partner to their success, we have decided to award a grant to the Mason County Career Center for $29,273.67, which will go for the purchase of a new digital sign dedicated to the Career Center. And I'd like at this time to award this check to Mr. Brent Hereford. Congratulations. If I may, I have some literature here, and I have the documents that I need to have signed by the board president. But I'd like to, if could, provide members with what the Claflin Foundation has done for the Mason County students, the Mason County educational facilities. It shows that we are very, very interested in the education of the children that you have responsibility for. You will see the considerable amount of money that's been expended on the students and scholarships, as well as grants to the various facilities that you're in charge of. Nearly every school has sought a grant from the foundation, and we have probably about a 95 to 97% grant rate of awards to those schools that have applied. Perhaps the only times that grants weren't awarded is when projects were duplicative or the projects just weren't able to carry out the mission of the foundation. But I think you can see from the listing I handed you that Robert and Louise Claflin Foundation is very, very interested in the Mason County schools, and we're delighted to be working with the Mason County Career Center. We look forward to a long and prosperous relationship with them, and I believe that the sign that's going to be erected illustrates the commitment the foundation has to the school system and to assisting the projects at the Career Center. This time, I'm not sure which of you is the board president, but I have documents that I need to have signed in order to carry out the grant. And I believe this more requires your signature.
Holler at her.
No, no, okay. There's three of them, so you have to sign 3 times.
3 times.
The documents that the president's signing will signify that the Claflin Foundation's name will appear on the digital sign as being the one to erect it. It's not done for glorification of the Claflin couple. If you knew anything about them, you would know that they shun publicity. But being a foundation that doesn't have the ability to advertise its existence, we have to do it through various means so that others, besides Mr. Hereford, besides Mr. Richardson and the Career Center, and other teachers throughout their entire school system who have filed grants, that they know that we're out there and that we're there to help them any way we can.
We appreciate everything you've done.
Appreciate you having me tonight.
Hey, you come back anytime you
We get a
want.
picture?
Yeah, we'll get pictures.
Yeah, she
Rock star.
Did you just say you wanted to say something? Tell us for her thing. He said, I wanted to talk. He had something. I thought he said, I wanted to talk.
Is this chair in the way?
I've been able to go above it. I think we're okay. You're good. Hey, Cheryl, go ahead and slide Mrs. Tennett's chair to the right, please. Thank you much.
We'll get in the middle. There you go. Social distance. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Herbert will give a speech.
I said last year, wait. Huh? Oh, Tori will catch you outside, Tell them the news meeting's over.
Okay, delegations, we have Mr. Ray Berrien. Make a little presentation.
Thank you for letting me be here. I'm Ray Berrien with the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 9926 in Mason, West Virginia. Each year, we got programs we do for the schools. We have Teachers of the Year, firefighters, EMTs, police officers. And it's my job to pick out the person I think is going to be a wonderful award winner. And this year, by far, he's the best one we've ever had. I'd like to have Mr. John Bonecutter, elementary school teacher from Roosevelt School and Point Pleasant High School. Mr. Bonecutter, I'd like to present this Teacher of the Year Award to you for your teaching experience and coaching experience and the family and father you are. You're a good guy. I'd like to present this certificate. This is from the National Veterans of Foreign War. This is the national commander there, a picture of him. They issued this to Mr. Bonecutter. He had to go through a stringent education from all the posts in the state of West Virginia. Here's a check. They presented for $500. And here is a crystal Teacher of the Year apple, also from the National. And Mr. Bonecutter can present this certificate to his school, Roosevelt, in honor of him winning this National Teacher Award. Several years ago, I think Mrs. Tennant was my first awardee. I don't know how long that's been. It's been a while. 15 years. Yeah, 15 years. She was my very first national winner. And we keep it going. So, thank you very much for letting me do this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we need a picture. If you come this slide, please. Look at the picture.
Congratulations, Mr. Bowman.
It's been a pretty good week.
Huge ratings on the number. Yeah. meeting and I'm trying.
Congratulations.
Good job. You played up.
It's a good week. I want to sleep in.
Let me check. We take one more.
One more. Right smile.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Very nice to meet you. Goodness. Come on, okay. Y'all ready to roll? Let's go. Now we're rolling. Yes. Superintendent's recommendations. Recommend the board approve the regular business meeting agenda number 20-46 of the Mason County Board of Education, April 27, 2021, at the Mason County Board of Education Office, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, for the purpose of conducting regular business. Motion, Mrs. Baumgartner. Second, Mrs. Tennant. Discussion. Let me see. I will be polling 11:01, 12, and 13:01. We need to add a meeting. Okay, Mrs. Tennant, do you have anything to pull?
Nothing.
Okay.
I want to pull, 11:02.
11:02. Oh. Mr. Bellings, sorry about that. You have anything to pull?
But I'll probably chime in on 11:02 with Ms. Blackbutter about Bill with the need.
Okay. So, 8:04. 8:04. 8:04. So we'll be voting on everything except 8:04, 11:01, 11:02, 12, 13:01. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. 8:04, recommend the board approve the following professional probationary contract renewals for the 2021-22 school year. John Bond, Matthew Bradley, Morgan Clark, Melissa Farmer, Edmund Fry, Kim Garrett, Robert Grady, William Hicks, Emily Hoffman, Casto, Teresa Kay, Susan Kritzbaum, John Lambert, Helen Lanier, Donald Langer, Stephen Pritchard, Haley Tate, Tiffany Thorne, Kelsey McDaniel, Clarissa Alamides, Isama, Scarlett Enos, Jennifer Markham, Jennifer Martee, Amanda Moles, Laura Knott, John Polson, Steve Durbin, Nolan Pierce, Kathleen Ridgway, Sonny Rouse, Jennifer Leakton, Brittany Dowdy, Lauren Walmsley, Amy Miller, and Amber Marciano. Any motion?
Motion.
How dirty. We got Mrs. Goss. I'll second it again. Maybe already pulled discussion. Now discussion, I think
Just make a motion to go to executive.
we need a motion to go in executive and talk about some of the personnel. We got a motion by Mrs. Carlson. I'll second. Discussion, we're going to be voting to go into executive, to talk about some of the names on here that maybe don't need to be brought out publicly. So all in favor of executive, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion passes 5-0. We are in executive at 6:30. So, we're back here, Mr. Billings, you with us.
You ready?
I'm ready. Watch where you're looking. Let's see.
I was here tonight. Well, you know, it's a small county. You have to do, it's a small county. I had to be here for, I know schools. Investigation. I know we're coming 4 days a week.
A couple got aboard the weekend,
Broke in,
elementary school. What did you do for them?
8-year-old. Now, the 8-year-old tried to cover for the 13-year-old. It was really good. Oh, it's on. I don't talk. No, I'm not. Our children seem to want to be I'm not a director, so I don't know what to do with that.
birds.
I think they're outside, but they work their way in there.
I'll let you read it.
Neither can Dale.
You can get out. I think I got set up on that one.
Yeah, you can't trust the calls.
You definitely. Hey, we're back. Okay, recommend the board to come back to open session. Motion, Ms. Coulson, second, Ms. Tidd, discussion, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion passes 5-0, we're back at 6:42. Back to the main motion, recommend the board approve all the following probationary contract renewals for 2021-22 school year. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes 5-0. 1101, recommend the board review the monthly financial statements for March 2021. I guess we'll just review it, I don't think.
Mr. Shob, I don't have much, but to the right of each of you should be a handout. Snuck it in there while you were away.
Yeah.
Basically, like each month prior so far this year, wanted to draw your attention to page 4. The typical scenario up to this point, our substitute costs are down from what we projected. And they'll probably remain down for the rest of the year. There's just really one more thing I wanted to draw your attention to was on page 5. Last meeting or meeting before, they're all running together for me right now. But we had agreed to take approximately half of your reserve you budgeted to cover this, well, wind damage and roof leaking and to settle that thing. So in your general fund, you still had $720,000 in March. We'll move that over to cover the approved roof repairs. So at the end of April, when I report in May, this thing's going to be about half. But we knew that. Any other concerns financially to date?
You will stay. And I have a whole lot of.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much.
You have anything on that, Jared? All right, thank you. 1102, recommend the board to approve the following English language arts textbook adoption for the 21-22 school year. K-5 HMH textbooks plus supplemental Saxon program for grades K-2 at a cost of $581,238.81. Costs could increase if additional teacher materials are added or decrease if not all schools choose to use Saxon as a supplement. 6 to 12 McGraw-Hill study sync at the cost of $368,225. This cost may increase if additional teacher materials are needed. County levy and step 7 monies will be the funding source.
Motion.
Motion, Ms. Buncutter. Second, Ms. Coulson. Discussion. You pulled this, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'll leave it to me.
Okay, so I don't completely understand the English language arts things down to a science. But I was approached by a few teachers, saying that what would work for K-2 and what would work for 3-5 are two different curriculums, two different textbooks. And I'm wondering if we couldn't just adopt a curriculum for the K-2 and a curriculum for that 3-5. I've been told it could potentially save us money because we won't have to buy a supplemental, because the curriculum that the K-2 prefer is CKLA, which is an all-inclusive thing for everything that they're wanting. And then the 3-5 is wanting the HMH, that is what is on the agenda. And, I guess the K2 teachers were kind of the mercy of the 3-5 teachers as to what curriculum they were going to adopt, is what I'm being told. He said now that the science of reading, once teachers are starting to learn that science of reading, that it's hard to do balanced literacy with it because they're two completely different concepts. Which is why now we're adding the Saxon, which is great, I guess. I'm trying to figure out what I'm saying, but I'm just asking, is there any way we can do a K2 and a 3-5?
I think it's Dr. Bonham and Ms. Burris, you want to go through the process here?
Dr. Bond, you want to unmute and answer Mrs. Bonecutter? Hang on, we can't hear you, Dr. Bond, hang on. Try it again.
Hello?
Mhm.
Okay, you set the mic down there, maybe, I'm just wondering.
I don't know, that might work.
I really couldn't hear it
I
earlier.
didn't
either.
feel like it did.
Might not be turned on.
Yeah, it's turned on.
It's on, just want to stand close enough to.
Okay, try again, Dr. Bond.
Where's the speaker at on that?
It's coming through the feed. Okay. If you want to go ahead and say stuff, then I'll just repeat it.
Okay. We had multiple meetings with members of the ELA adoption committee. The possibility of including all of the principals at the elementary level. The possibility of having a separate K2 curriculum was discussed by members of the committee and by members, by the principals themselves. Members of the committee and the principals all decided to go with a K5 curriculum as opposed to a K2 curriculum and a separate 3-5 curriculum. You want to pass that along?
I'll try. Okay, so what Dr. Bond said is there were multiple meetings with the committee, and then there were multiple meetings with the committee and the administrators of the elementary schools. And the committee and the administrators made the decision to go with the K5 curriculum.
They had a choice to go K2 or 1, that's correct, okay.
Versus a K2 and a separate.
Yes, versus a K2 and a separate 3-5. The option was available.
Because I was told that primary teachers were told that they could not split, that it wasn't an option.
Now I was part of these meetings, and that's what he's saying now. Yes, it was discussed. The decision was made not to do that in the best interest of the students overall. So that was an option at one time, but you also have to realize that not every teacher was involved in that. There were committee members from each school. So it may have been translated back slightly differently, or misunderstandings may have occurred.
And what was the reasoning for not splitting?
The committee members go to their PLCs and then have that vote passed on to the principals and then emailed me their school vote.
So he just,
So it was a school vote versus an individual member.
so what he's just saying now is that the committee members took back all the information to their PLCs, discussed that at PLCs, then it was a school vote, and the principals emailed what each school chose.
Okay, so I didn't hear that. But I heard it was because K2 primary teachers were told they were not allowed to split. So that was based on, they knew they were not allowed to split what was best. And they were at the mercy of the 3-5 teachers.
They weren't, so they weren't allowed to split it because the committee and the principals had all decided not to split.
That's fine, okay. Makes sense?
Before the vote, they voted to not split it, and once they voted not to split, each school had to choose A or B.
Yes.
Or, yeah, there were three top choices. There ended up being three, and then it kind of narrowed down to two. And one of the things, and Dr. Bond, you can tell me, add stuff if you want to. One of the things that was discussed when they were talking about splitting it was having one series for K2 and then a separate one for 3-5. The third grade is such a critical grade level. And with that switch happening, how was that going to affect the students? That was one of the topics that was discussed the day that they were deciding whether they wanted to do separate or a K-5 program.
I guess my whole argument with, I can see both sides, and I'm just trying to advocate for what's best for the kids. But I know K2, it's drilling in learning how to read, and then once you get 3-5, it's you're reading to learn. And so I can see where the two separate curriculums could be beneficial more to this group and then one geared more towards this group. But I understand the continuity of what it is. So if this is what everybody voted on and wanted, then.
Can I jump in here?
Yes, go ahead.
Continuity was not the only issue that was discussed. Both of these reading systems and curriculums were highly rated by the state of West Virginia and by multiple national publications. And it was decided at those meetings, as I said before, that even though the Amplify, which is the CKLA K2 curriculum, addressed specific needs at the K2 level, it was felt by our committee and the principals that the HMH also addressed the same needs.
Did you hear him? And another thing that I think was a misconception about what you just said is that we would have still needed supplements, even with CKLA, because the Saxon is for phonics, and a lot of the schools have a supplemental phonemic awareness right now.
Do you know just off the top of your head about how much we're spending for the Saxon supplement?
Dr. Bond, do you know
What was
how much the Saxon supplement cost?
Let's see.
The other thing that he's thinking on that, because Anita took care of most of that, but also Saxon is an HMH product, so it will go hand in hand with it. That was part of the adoption.
I grew up with Saxon.
Right. So you're familiar. Plus, we're also, they're getting a MIRI as well, which is a fluency screener. That's also part of the adoption. Do you know how much the Saxon cost?
$160,964.
And all of the schools chose to use the Saxon. That was a choice they had as well. All of them.
That was unanimous.
It was unanimous.
You said 160,000.
160,000 what?
$964.
$964. And that's for 6 years.
And almost, I mean, I'm not sure the numbers, but it almost might have evened out, because wasn't I was told the CKLA was more pricier than the, I don't know if that's true, but, so I don't know if it's, if it would, I don't know if it would necessarily save or not, so I don't get the numbers, but, you know, I was just told that the CKLA was a lot pricier than the HMH.
It
We
was.
try to do the best we can for ELA since it's so critical to try to get what we can afford, for the program. But I know 6 years ago, it was almost $900,000, 6 years ago for ELA. I don't think any other subject come close to that. Maybe the closest was math, about half that cost. We put, what the committee wants, what we want to have. It is a vote per school. Okay, so they take everybody's back to individual schools, and we go with what the consensus wants. Okay, I know 10, 11 years ago, whenever I was on that side doing the Department of Instructional Materials, there was a big controversy when we had math books, elementary books. And, we went with,
I will.
the one that was a consensus majority, and that's what we went with. Some didn't like it, I know that, but, they both were good products, and actually when we selected mathematics at the time, turned out to be the better one, I know that now, but at the time we didn't know that. And I know know both of these are pretty good textbook series. There's supplemental material out there. Saxon is here. Some of them have another.
They have Haggerty for phonemic awareness.
They can still use it for schools, and that's not a problem. So we try to do all we can to benefit ELA, because it's just so critical. You're right. They learn to read through second grade, read to learn the rest of their life.
Third grade's such a big.
It's big. It's big. Yes.
But so they did vote about whether or not they wanted a split before
That wasn't-
they voted on curriculum.
Yes, they did, and he wanted you to know, because he just said it, and I know you can't hear him, that the overall vote by school was 4 for HMH and 3 for CKLA. And they're always, as Mr. Collins said, historically, they're always very, very close like that.
I have some friends who teach in Jackson County, and they have used Saxon as a supplement, and they speak very, very highly of it. And their test results show success with it. So I think if we give it a chance, I think we'll be happy with it.
Mr. Billings?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If they can hear me, or repeat it for me.
They hear you.
And I didn't hear everything Megan said or in response, and I may be repeating myself, so if I am, just let me know. But the question that was brought to me, which I've got 2 or 3 questions. The first one was brought, says K2 has a completely different set of needs than 3 through 6. Why buy 2 programs when the one will lose the job? I don't know if you touched on that or what the response was.
I think that the continuity was there.
They said the schools and principals voted.
Yeah, they said the schools and the principals voted.
The committee and the
The
principal.
committee.
But then my next question is, are we sure that the communication was clear? Because it seems like from different schools, whether they're for or against, the conversations I've had, some different communications. I don't know if everyone was understanding the same stuff. I think that's their problem.
I can think that they had meeting after meeting after meeting, and, I mean, it wasn't just one meeting, there were several.
Yeah, they said they had several meetings, and I think the committee members took it back to their school. Can maybe the people you talked to didn't get the memo?
And that's what I'm wondering, or if different people walked away with different things and, or didn't quite understand. I know this happens a lot, and, that's one thing I've always been big on, communication, so I don't know. But you said that the majority voted, and, I mean, I guess that's what it is. I mean, that's the only fair way to do it, so.
Right.
If that's the way they done it, then I'm fine with it, but I just wanted to make sure that, to the best of our knowledge, that we know the communication was as clear as can be.
Okay, what's the third thing?
And the last thing was, does any of the money that we received from the state or the stimulus stuff, does this go towards any of this?
No.
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 Well, you're right, we can't.
Okay, first of all, repeat what you said again, Dr. Bond, because I couldn't hear you because Mr. Billings was talking.
Sure, I said the communication was crystal clear between the members of the committee and the principals when they decided to go with a K-5 curriculum. They discussed that at more than one meeting, and that was made very clear amongst the group that was in attendance at those meetings that they were going with a K-5 curriculum.
Okay, I don't know if you all can hear him. I'm sure Mr. Billings probably couldn't.
It's up here.
He, Dr. Bond just said that the communication between the committee members, the principals were crystal clear, because it was discussed at several meetings before the decision was made to go with the K-5 curriculum as opposed to a K-2 and a 3-5.
Did you hear that, Jared?
Somewhat.
Said that the communication was crystal clear because they had to talk several times at meetings between the K2 and the K5, and when they chose what they chose.
And principals were involved as well, so.
And the principals was involved as well.
Okay, and the question as far as, are we gonna use any of the ESSER funds? Is, that depends, because we're looking now, we're possibly gonna add some positions. And if we need some teachers additions, and there's not enough money in the textbook fund, then we'll take it out of ESSER.
When we add extra teachers, and we need them that way. Typically, it's always been step 7, A has the instructional funds we give to the State Department, $200,000 plus. And then, the other is the excess levy. And, that's where all the funding has come through the past. And we try to book our bank the best we can because we know ELA is always more expensive than the others. All right, and last year was a pretty light year, with the courses we had, music, art, 4 languages, a few things like that. There wasn't a large adoption last year, so we can actually book or bank some money because we know when ELA comes through, it's expensive. And yes, we can purchase additional resources for extra teachers we may have or tutors, that type of thing. So we'll use stimulus money for that, with the ESSER funds for that.
Do you understand that, Gary? Okay. All right, moving on. Any more discussion? Okay. 1102, recommend the board approve the following English language arts textbook adoption for the 21-22 school year. K-5 HMH textbook plus supplemental Saxon program for grades K2 at a cost of $581,238.81. Cost could increase if additional teacher materials are added or decreased if not all schools choose to use Saxon as a supplement. 612 McGraw Hill Study Sync at the cost of $368,225. This cost may increase if additional teacher materials are needed. County levy and step 7 monies will be the funding sources. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. 12, superintendent's report.
All right, I got a few items. I'll try to be quick. First off, I received a memo from the, okay, can you see the mic, okay? Okay, all right, that's fine. Memo yesterday from Superintendent Birch, State Superintendent. This memo serves as a notice that your 2021-2022 school calendar and NTID plan are approved. So we sent the information out, and we'll be putting this on our website, on our social media, because there's parents already asking what their calendar's gonna look like next year. And that way they can plan around vacations and things like that. So that is released. We just got that approved yesterday. So it's back the way that has been in the past. Okay, it's the 5-5-5 deal where we increase instructional minutes by 30 minutes. We're back to one bus run next year. Okay, we're not going to predict to be looking at things like that moving forward. If we can find a way to keep 2 bus routes, we'd love to have that. But just financially, we get our drivers, and the number of drivers that take to split the 2 is just really difficult to do this time. Second item, I've left you, given you an itinerary tomorrow for Superintendent Birch. Will be in Mason County. He's starting at Leon Elementary in the morning. I will meet him there at 8:15. From there, he goes to the primary. From the primary to Point Pleasant Junior Senior High School. He'll have lunch there, and it'll be a working lunch. Student council is supposed to be eating with him, plus he's supposed to have some of our wrestling team there with him also. All right, tomorrow. He'll have a chance to visit classrooms and talk to some students, talk to staff. And then the school has the opportunity to showcase anything they want to showcase to him. And then the last location, and school-wise, is Mason County Career Center, so that'll be an easy walk right there between the 2. And then from there, it comes back here from 2:30 to 3:30. And I've invited all principals. I mean, I sent him an itinerary, a proposal, and he made corrections to it, so this is where we want to go. One thing he specifically asked for is to be at Senator Grady's school. He requested that, and so we have Leon Elementary in there for sure. You can pick us up any place you want to. You could be here at the end of the schools, go all the trips or part of the trips, whatever your schedule will allow you to do. Board members, you're also welcome to it. So that's tomorrow, and it's been a while since we've had a state superintendent here. I have requested in the past, whether you know this or not, in the past, they always have had a state board meeting out in the county in the fall and out in the county in the spring. And I've requested to have them here in Mason County. I've been turned down, but I haven't requested that. So Dr. Burnett, you can get one here sometime. It'd be great to have them here today. I mean, it's your call, okay, and the board. But I'd love to have them here, to have a state board meeting right here in Mason County, because I don't think they've ever had one here. And so it's good to get our state superintendent to come through, to see us, have a chance to talk to us, and that's tomorrow. Today we had a meeting with the health department. I couldn't believe the traffic in town. It took me almost 20 extra minutes to come up here, back to the office, because I think it was a semi-wreck on Route 35. And the tractor trailers and stuff, I set in traffic. I had to, Dale's asking, where you at, So I just had to make a call, put the phone in my pocket and talk. Basically what the health department is saying is they have not received any new updates from the state DHHR. Matter of fact, they're still using the 6 foot for contact tracing, because the question is, since we're going to 3 foot in the elementaries, and he said that he's received nothing to say 3 foot in elementaries. So Mr. Sherman was on the call with me today.
He said we're glad to see.
Yeah, and until he's told otherwise, it's 6 foot for contact tracing, not 3. All right, so we talked about graduations and proms and class nights, scholarship nights and those type of thing, and the schools are sending him their proposal, and he's approving them. He's pretty much approved all of them that's come to him right now.
They accepted one hand.
One hadn't sent to him. I don't remember, probably graduation maybe. One of them hasn't been there, and we said if we need another meeting, May 18th would be the possibility, but if we don't need it this school year, we won't, okay? If something comes down the road, it'll be there. Dr. Burdett, beginning July 1. I don't know what this pandemic is going to do to us. No idea. And they have been a fantastic resource. We've met monthly for them. I think my first meeting with them was like July 7th of this past year. I met every 2-3 weeks early. We've gone monthly here lately, and they're a fantastic asset. Continue to use them, all right, to help make decisions. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, but any stretch in that imagination. And so we rely on that big time for what we need to do for the CDC and for the state DHHR. No youth expo because of the cross contaminations. And I know, it wants to keep those core groups together. And of course, you have the youth expo. You're mixing the core groups from the school plus the core groups even from other schools, and just no expo this year. The bicycles are staying still back here. The material's still here, so we hope we can get that back in place. And maybe I can talk to Dr. Burdett about finishing this thing across right here from me, and having those things right here in this building would now be outstanding. So there's some things that him and I will have a chance to talk about and see how he wants to proceed in the future. School recognitions and some special recognitions. Talked to a couple of principals today. Mr. Raines at New Haven, our teacher of the year for this past year was Amy Jordan. And we didn't have a chance because of the pandemic to recognize her. So I'd like to go on May 7th to present her award to her that day. And I'll see if New Haven wants to do any kind of special presentation for her. At the time, it's a Friday, so there's no students in school. If board members want to attend, you're welcome to go with me. And if you have a time that you have a preference for, I'm going to say 9 a.m. right now. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. But if you have, hey, can you do it at such and such time? Please let me know, and we'll make arrangements around a little bit of time. And then May 14th, I have the Service Employee of the Year, which is a Virginia Hughes, a primary aide at the primary school. And talking to Mrs. Workman, she said May 14th will work better for her. And again, I'll say 9 a.m. unless something comes out. You all say, no, can you make it 10 or 1 or something like that? We'll do that. And then you all sign the recognition plaques that will go out. And I hope to try to be giving those out on May 7th, May 14th, based upon schedules. Whenever I get the actual time set, if it's 9 a.m. at New Haven, then maybe I can backtrack down the road. We can take care of Bahama. And maybe go on back down here to the Career Center, this high school, somewhere here in this area. All right. So again, if the board members want to be present, and I'd like for you to be present if you can, we'll get a schedule and we'll go school to school. And we're going to do all sites, not just schools, because this pandemic, my goodness gracious, the support we've had from all of our staff, our transportation department, our maintenance department, staff here at this central office. So basically, it's a plaque to hang on the wall saying we survived the pandemic and we did the best we could to take care of our kids. That's what you guys signed earlier today. All right, so we'll be doing that on May 7th and 14th. I'll get a schedule together, and if you can join in with me, please join me. Summer school updates, based upon the number of students that, and parents that request summer school. The only way we can really hold summer schools is to bring them all to Point Pleasant. We'll have enough teachers this way, enough students to have the classes. So we're looking at, and it makes more sense to have the kids, the K2s at the primary. The equipment there, the chairs there, the right size for them. The intermediate school will do the 3-5, and then Point Pleasant High School, the 7-12. And basically the curriculum department, all of them, have been calling parents to, hey, let you know that this is going to make a change here. Are you accommodating to this? And the report I had earlier today from Dr. Bond is that all parents seem to be willing to continue to do that. Am I saying that correct? Anything separate, or someone say no? Or what the first report was that they all were. So Dr. Bond, do you have anything to add, or Ms. Burris?
There are a few that have told us they prefer not to send their children that far. And then there were some courses that we're not able to offer because of the low enrollment. Dr. Bond, anything specific you want to say about summer school?
Sure. So we had 186 total elementary students.
Okay, hang on a minute. If I got to repeat this. 186 elementary, go ahead.
Offering classes in K through 6.
So we're offering K6.
K6.
Yes.
Secondary, there were 125 secondary students who were able to take classes.
125 secondary. So we're doing.
So we're doing 7th grade English.
7th grade English.
8th grade English and math.
8th grade English and math.
English 9.
English 9.
English 11.
English 11.
Algebra 1.
Algebra 1.
Algebra 2.
Algebra 2. And geometry.
Okay, the next thing we have to post, we have to have teachers apply for these positions. And that's going to be the next thing. We know who wants them now that we have the staff to pull off. We need cooks, we need bus drivers, we need teachers, we need aides, we need nurses, we need secretaries. We're having a coordinator at each site to work with administrators here. So, the next thing is to get the personnel in, to get it taken care of, and have enough people in case we have to have subs, so we can take care of it. So that's the next step. Once we get figured out how many we have, what we can offer, and what we can do, the next step is to post these positions, and I hope we have applicants. That's the next thing. We have to have people in these jobs. So we're kind of building this plane as we fly it again. What we wanted to do is depend upon next about who applied and who wants to do it, and what parents want the kids to be in. And then, of course, the next thing is that we have the staff to pull off. So that's the next big push. The last thing on my list is extracurricular trips. Of course, WSAZ was here this evening to ask about the situations we're running into here in Mason County where we don't have buses covering all of our extracurricular trips, and so they had to cancel some games. Of course, our first priority is to get students to and from school. Because we're having 2 bus runs, it's creating a little bit of a problem where the elementary's in from 8 a.m. to roughly 2 p.m. And then the secondary is in from 9:30 to roughly 3:45. And that 3:45 time is where the killer is, because if they schedule early games and they want to leave at 4 o'clock, we don't have bus drivers back. We don't have enough subs back to take care of those. And so what I've asked the principals, can you move your game times back? That would help us. So that way these drivers will come off these routes, and then possibly they'll be able to take a secondary route to an extracurricular trip to wherever. All right. Now, of course, I know in a few places they still don't have lights. So you have problems with if it gets dark and they don't have lights, then if you move the game back, you have to quit when it gets dark. Those officials or the umpires have a tendency to stop the game. And then, right, Mr. Show, as you officiate a little bit, what we're talking about. I think most stadiums don't have lights, don't you? Back let you go.
That's big stadium. Like you said, you get a lot of some of the satellite stadiums.
May not have.
Places may not,
I got you. So anyway, and the other option is when we have a driver, we can get a schedule worked out. I said schedule double headers.
And they can play on Saturdays.
Play on Saturdays, my goodness, play on Saturdays, yes. So we're shorthanded, and we are currently going to do a little advertisement that I don't know if they've done anywhere in the state or not. We're going to put 2 spare buses on the parking lot at Tudor's, right there across from Wendy's. And we're putting signs in the window saying, we need bus drivers with the phone number and who to call and how to call, so we can try to get this taken care of. I mean, when you post it on a website, the people that want to apply for the job, they don't look at the website. You know, you put in the paper, sorry. I mean, I don't know if we'll get the paper right now. Does he look for it? I don't know what I said, sorry. Please, I don't blame you, pull that one back. I'm sorry. Anyway, you know, I don't know who gets the paper, who looks for those type of things. So, we need to advertise where people can see it. You know, and if they see it in a bus window, in a parking lot, in the center of town, and they say, hey, they need your help, hey, you know, we'll call, see if we can take care of that. Say it again?
I took it up the river one day, down the river.
They did that in Geauga County a couple years ago.
Gotcha. We can post it down in Ashton, put them up there, we can put them up at Walmart or at Bahama, or people come into Walmart, see those, yeah.
Like, I told them in
Move around a little bit.
driving.
Yeah,
Move around a little, good idea, good idea. Can we hang
I
on
think we
a
have any
bus?
spare buses.
Can we hang on a bus? I don't know. I don't know how many spare buses we
I don't
have.
have any spare
I
buses.
don't think we have a whole lot. We just sold, 3 at auction the other day. They brought some around the neighborhood.
The other one's sitting there not fixed because the mechanics are driving.
Yeah.
Are you able to put them on buses that are, like, I remember being in Galvalis.
Can you advertise that way? I don't know the
Buses were
answer.
driving down the road,
Side on side.
saying that they needed drivers. Like,
I don't know. It's a question we can ask. Come on, Dr. Decker, have you ever dealt with anything like that?
Yeah, actually, we've not turned around with the sign, but we had a large banner with Uncle Sam on it. You know, we want you, and then.
There you go, that's what I want.
Starting soon, and here was the number to call.
That's what we
It is
want.
a challenge, because you get like 17, maybe out to the orientation, I think you get like 6 or 8 that are coming back further, and maybe like the 4 and complete course, and then they find out work. So it is a challenge. It is a challenge.
Anyway, we're doing all we can to try to take care of the shortages. And one question that Mr. Showman and I will talk to the Mountain State ESC, I'll start it and see if we can get more trainers possibly to anyone that does apply, that we can get them through, get their coursework taken care of, get their driving time taken care of, so we can get them hired. And we gotta get them hired. That's my list.
And I go back to the doctor.
Oh, yes, okay, Mr. Billings.
Hey, I just got a couple things while you're, the superintendent report. Hey, when you talk about the recognitions for the, Mount East School.
Yes.
I wasn't sure when I was there earlier, if there was any for the health department or Dr. Lobby.
Need to add, need to add, yes, thank you.
Christine, one for them.
Yes.
Also, real quick, on the needs I brought up on the property needs at Central, I want to say thank you to you, on the quick response, and, our maintenance guys are doing a nice job clearing that up, so I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
And one last
Good,
thing.
good.
I didn't get to, say thank Dr. Burdette, just like to say, welcome on your position. And like I said too before, you did a good position and look forward to moving forward. But like I said, we want to be Jackson County.
There you go, you hear that? Publishers, we want to be Jackson County, you got that? You're a Mason County boy, let's take care of that, all right? You have my permission to do that, how's that? There we go. All right, thank you.
With Dr. Bond, did I understand correctly? I'm afraid all Bend area students have to go to Point Pleasant for summer school.
Awesome.
There's no way that the elementary can be done.
We didn't have enough register to hold it up there.
Really?
Or we can do is combine. You know, I don't like it.
We have some because Anita and Dr. Bond and myself have been calling, and I had some that are in that area that are coming, some that chose not to, same way. Some that were down in the Hannon area did not want to come this far. Some have. But we just didn't have the numbers to hold the sessions at the 2 other schools.
We tried, we went through, that was the initial plan. Again, you gotta have the parents to sign the kids up, and the way we can hold them is to combine the county.
I think it's great that there was a backup. I mean, not that it's ideal to be shipped from Ashton Upland to Point every day, but just because there wasn't enough numbers doesn't mean that the option was off the table for them, so that makes me happy.
We'll try, do what we can. That's all I have. Anything else?
I just look back at, like, when you was talking about Dr. Lively, you asked about the PE class and stuff.
Yeah.
They said you're outside no mask,
Yeah.
Reed says they don't worry about masks.
Yeah.
They still have to in the gym.
Yep, inside.
Yeah.
Right.
He said he don't see us changing that between now.
At the end of the year, it doesn't.
We went too far to go back.
Yeah, I don't want to go backward. It's
Yeah,
called the
19
problem in
19
county
days
with
we did.
reverting, you know, so just keep it done.
Fingers crossed for a normal school year next year.
You know, I hope, yeah, Mount West have a normal school year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's all I have.
Okay, 1301, regular business meeting, May 11, 2021, Mason County Board of Education, office 6 PM, regular business meeting, May 25th, 2021, 6 PM. Motion, Mr. Dawson.
Second.
Second, Mrs. Bonecutter. Discussion, we need, I guess, add a
Special meeting student expulsion, it has to be by May 11th. There is a meeting May 11th. If you want to do it like we did tonight at 4. There are 3 hearings now, and was 2 earlier. One was added today, so you can do one at 4, 4:35, or 3:30, whatever, if May 11th works for you all. If it doesn't work, they have to have it by May 11th.
I think most of them kind of said it wouldn't work.
I have to leave at 5:30, between 5:30 and 6. So,
We might be okay anyway.
We could probably get it
We
done.
might be okay anyway.
so if, yeah. If we
Should
can,
we bump it up at all?
We will start at
today.
You want to start at 3:30, would that help?
yeah, I can do
3 or 3 o'clock, something, what's?
I think if we just bumped it up to 3:30, we finished probably about 5:30 today, and I'm
We push you,
Two.
push it along, you know, you know what I'm saying?
so better if we finish.
Mr. Billings, you good for, May 11th, with the next board meeting at, 3:30 or 3 o'clock or 4?
Whatever works, sounds good.
Okay, that day's good. Okay, so Mr. Schiff, whatever you want to go with.
3:30?
If you think that's enough time, I'm good with 3 or 3:30, whatever we think is enough.
I'm good with that, like you said.
I'm good with either.
Well, let's just stay at 3 and then you don't feel like rush.
3 o'clock, okay?
3, okay, Mr. Billings?
That's 3 hours, Kenny.
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, I know.
3
We
o'clock.
almost took the 2 whole hours with 2 today.
Well, we had half an hour.
Well, I mean, it was between 50 and 20 till when we finished.
Yeah, I scrambled a little bit, and then with the news here and everything else, so you have a little bit of a scramble. Say 3 o'clock? You have to have a motion to amend, so where we're at.
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend. Do we have a special student expulsion meeting on May 11th at 3 PM? You second?
I'll make a second.
Got a second, Ms. Carlson. Discussion?
3 p.m.
Did you hear that, Jared? We're gonna add back the meeting, the expulsion meeting at 3 o'clock on the 11th?
Jared quit.
Made
Yeah.
my phone die. I don't know.
He said he agreed.
He said he was fine that day, yes.
Hey.
He's still there. Okay.
We win. Ron, you okay now?
If I have to be gonna.
If you need to call in, you can call in. You know, that's an option too. That's available.
Okay, I got a motion and a second, and a special expulsion meeting on May 11th at 3 PM. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes 5-0. Made motion to read a special student expulsion meeting, May 11th at 4 PM, and regular business meeting, May 11th, 2021, Mason County Board of Education on 6 PM, and regular business meeting, May 25th, 2021, at 6 PM. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Adjournment, recommend the board adjourn regular business meeting agenda 20-46, April 27, 2021, of the Mason County Board of Education, held at the Mason County Board of Education office, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Jared got it.
3 times.
Mr. Billings? You got the second? Maybe?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Mr. Bonecutter, discussion, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Time?
We're out here. We're out at 7:26.